Hey there, it's Mike with the Claim Squad Public Adjusters. I promised a video regarding specific cases of fire damage claims, what happened in these cases, the result, how we got there, why we got there, and what the insurance company said. So let's get right into it. I think I have 4 or 5 different cases. Let's start with case number 1. So this was a lawsuit. Actually, I didn't have anything to do with this case. I just want to put that out there now. This was actually a case I thought was very interesting a few years ago when I had read about it, and I like using this as an example. So it's a lawsuit in 2011. It was a homeowner versus Nationwide. It was in Tennessee, the lawsuit. Essentially, the homeowner suffered a fire. It burned most of her house. And the cause of the fire was actually a Christmas tree. It damaged $586,000. The insurance company basically said the homeowner did it on purpose. It was intentional. So the plaintiff, which is the homeowner, hired a fire damage expert, and they found that actually it was electrical malfunction at the receptacle on the wall by the Christmas tree. So even when they furnished this report and the expert's finding, the insurance company still denied the claim. So then when they filed the lawsuit, they filed it alleging bad faith, breach of contract. They went through the whole jury. Expert witness came in. There was other witnesses, including the insured, and essentially the jury awarded more than even the damages, $784 and $700, $784,700. So I really, there's more details, but I just wanted to give you the high level details of the case. I thought it was a great case. And so here, perfect example. The insurance company blamed her, the homeowner. Christmas tree catches on fire because of electrical malfunction. And they blamed the homeowner. And they probably knew it wasn't the homeowner. I would imagine, and I hope, and I don't remember because it's been several years since I looked at this case, but I would hope that the local fire department did a report and said that it was electrical from this Christmas tree. It sounds like they probably didn't, which is a concern. They probably put unknown calls. I see a lot of that from local fire departments. So that's why it's crucial to hire somebody right away. Let's take a look at case number 2. Now this is a case that I did represent a client for a few years ago. So basically the insurance company was saying that my client, they're insured, set fire to their house because they wanted to move from the Midwest to Florida. And so when I had my conversation with them, I said, okay, what's the deal? Were you trying to sell the house? Where were you at when this happened? All these little small factors that would come into play. So where it came into question was that the husband and the wife said some things that were a little bit different. So that complicated things. The insured wasn't clear about trying to sell the house, and they purchased a home in Florida during this whole time, and where they were during the fire. So without giving too many details, so they were trying to sell the house at one point. They were trying to move to Florida. They did buy a house in Florida before they sold this house. And so essentially the insurance company was like, this is a little suspicious. You bought a house in Florida, you have this house here, you haven't been able to sell it, you had it on the market, then you took it off, then it catches fire. And then you have statements that were a little bit different. I won't go into detail what those statements were, but they took it out of context. Essentially, Allstate offered $6,000. Again, they said it was arson. So when I inspected the property, I noticed that there was electrical wiring in the living room that seemed like it was shorted out. And I tried following it to see what other areas that also might have been compromised, because there was a wall and it came on the other side of the wall that also had certain markings to lead me to believe that it was electrical. We hired a fire damage expert just in case we had to go trial, and also because it's always best to hire a fire damage expert despite my findings, because you want somebody that's independent, not somebody that they think is going to be biased. Sure enough, our fire damage expert found the same and came to the same conclusions that I did. We had to go trial on it, and the jury awarded $516,000. And really what came back was that the lack of honesty or the misrepresentation of the statement with the adjusters was immaterial. It didn't matter, since the fire was not incendiary. So there's that case, and that was actually a pretty hard fight during that whole. I think there was about a 2.5 year fight with depositions, experts before we went to trial. So let's take a look at case number 3, which is actually a business manufacturing case. Another case I was involved in. This one we had to file. No, we didn't file a lawsuit, but we went through a mediation that the client wanted to do. So we leave it upon the clients. We give them options: lawsuit, mediation. Business manufacturing suffered about $3 million in damage due to the fire. The policy was new, and when the insurance company came to look at the property, they said, "Hey, wait a minute, your sprinklers aren't working. You need to get these fixed right away." So a week after the inspection, repairs were scheduled to be made. They weren't made, as I put here, were made, but they weren't made. They were scheduled to be made. And then it was during this time that a fire occurred. So the insurance company denied the claim, saying the policy was void because the sprinkler system was inoperable. However, they wrote the policy knowing that the insurance, or that the sprinklers were not working at that particular time. So we went through a bunch of different evidence-based documents that show various other cases which was somewhat similar, that when the insurance company knows that sprinklers in a manufacturing or an alarm system, if you're talking about theft, vandalism, etc., and yet they still write the policy, that it should be enforced. And there are other case laws that also uphold that. Let's take a look at case number 4. Case number 4. So family went out of town. This was another one we settled. No lawsuit this time, no mediation. Family went out of town for vacation. Their house burned down. Their policy, they were covered for $600,000. So this was an old Victoria home that was essentially, when they bought it, whatever year it was, I forget, 2003, 2004, it was basically worth nothing. It was like a salvage house. And they put tons of money in, a few $100,000. Made this Victoria house just beautiful. And so the insurance adjuster said that they could rebuild it for $325,000, but then they denied the claim because, again, they believed that they set the house on fire to collect the $600,000. Same thing with one of my other cases. The husband and wife had conflicting statements. I won't get into those details, but it was conflicting as far as what day they had left and took a trip and when they came back, and so that's what the conflict was. And then they had visited a relative during that time frame. So what I asked them to do is, I said, guys, this is simple. Give me the tickets of your flight showing you were on the flight. Give me the hotels. Give me all receipts, credit card receipts. Showing your signature, your driver's license with your signature to match it up. Bank statements, credit card statements, anything and everything you have. Souvenirs, pictures, everything that you were on vacation that normal people can show proof of. So we did that. And then it was after we gathered all that information, probably about 2 months later, we settled the claim for the full value of $600,000. So overall, I think the length of time from when I got that claim to when we settled for $600,000 was about 4 or 5 months, give or take. And again, that was all without a lawsuit and without mediation, which is getting harder to do nowadays. So we're gonna go into case number 5. I'll put that up. Case number 5. So this 81-year-old widow female had her home burned down. She went out of town because she was taking care of a sick friend. In the meantime, she had a friend that lived there. She let her rent her place while she was gonna be gone to have somebody look over it for just a few $100s a month, nothing big. She was helping another friend out. So she helped a friend out who was sick and helped a friend out who needed a place to stay. So the insurance company denied it, basically saying because she wasn't living at a house for a certain amount of time frame and she was using it as rental income, they denied it because of that. So we actually, what I had her do was gather emails where you talked about this whole arrangement. You talked about that you may need to go see your friend and help your friend. And your friend who had wrote the client I represented, and you send me the emails of your friend saying she's looking for a place to stay and where you two got an agreement that once she goes help her friend, she can let her stay there, etc. So then, after that, the insurance company came back and said, well, wait a minute. It was the renter's fault because they blamed on a candle that was left in the bathroom, which set the carpeting on fire, and the whole house was basically carpeting. So then we went ahead and established that a few things about the policy. Number one, that if she had a desire to set her house on fire, she paid her policy in full. She had planned already 3 other trips. I asked her his documentation. She had planned 3 other trips 3 months after the date of the fire. So meaning, who's gonna plan trips to go on vacation if you're gonna set your house on fire or have the renter be the cause of it? So that showed that she wasn't planning on not living there, because the tickets for her vacation and her flights was from her hometown airport. It would make no sense if she's not going to live there anymore to have that. She had also renewed, she was in various different clubs, elderly clubs, women's clubs, church clubs. What else was she involved in? I think a tennis club. So she had all these memberships. Now, why would somebody have all these memberships if they don't plan on living in the town where her home's at? So none of this made sense. We settled for the full value of the policy, $280,000. It wasn't a high income policy, but her house wasn't worth anything more than that. So she was very happy about it. She actually took the money and now built herself a little small cottage where her friend was sick at. So everything worked out great. But these are 5 different cases. 5 different cases of the insurance company coming back and telling them, no, we're not going to cover your claim. It's denied. You're at fault. The renter's at fault. The husband and wife had different statements. It's always important, especially with very severe personal disastrous claims like a fire. Get somebody right away to help you. Get somebody right away. If you have a fire claim, give me a call, Mike at the Claim Squad Public Adjusters, and I'll definitely try to help you any way I can. Thank you for watching this video on the various fire damage claim cases. I hope it was helpful. Hope you learned a little bit about the insurance companies and their dirty tricks.